This is SportsCenter Live.
Let's go. Kyle Schwarber showing off the defense out there. Cubs and Dodgers. Remember, he missed all of the regular season last year with the Cubs and was an animal in the World Series. But that catch, guys, as beautiful as that is and the celebration happened, didn't count. The ivy got in the way. You know what catch did count? Julian Edelman in the Super Bowl. His head coach, Bill Belichick, recently gave a raw interview about his latest Super Bowl ring, Tom Brady's lack of athleticism. And did you know Coach is really funny? Well, the reporter who sat with him for over an hour joins the show soon. Hi, everyone. I'm Diana Rossini. This is SportsCenter. I'm here with you for the next 2 hours. Let's start this SportsCenter, though, with day baseball moments that did count. Let's go back out to Chicago. Anthony Rizzo there. Cubs finishing up their 3-game set with the Dodgers scoreless in the first until, hello, Rizzo. First home run this season. He had 2 RBI. He had 1 total RBI in his first 8 of the season. Another look here. Gorgeous. But how about the fan here? Avoids the beer shower to make the grab. Ooh, it looks chilly out there in Chicago. Cubs go up 1-0. And those were all the runs that they would need thanks to Albert Almora Jr. How's this for foreshadowing? Here's Almora pregame on his love for the outfield.
I was always that kid that always wanted to play outfield. I never wanted to play in the infield. I didn't want it. I wanted to catch fly balls. I wanted to dive around. So some say that's, I was born with that, but I was dedicated, and that's my passion.
Oh, I love when it all comes together, because watch this. Almora would pick on Corey Seager all game long. Yep, making it look easy. Up and back. And Seager's first at bat, he actually thought he had a double off the wall. But you see a great leaping catch there. Seager can't believe it. Then Almora not done just yet. Seager's second at bat ropes another shot into center field. Just gorgeous out there. Not the ivy, though. Look how dead it is. It's obviously too early in the season for it to bloom, but the defense is blooming for the Chicago Cubs. Almora getting some love from his teammates on his way into the dugout there. Now, Addison Russell adding a little run support for the Cubs here in the fourth. Still 1-0. Russell blasts this one 417 feet onto Waveland. It is out. Yeah, he didn't doubt it either. He knew the second the ball hit the bat there. See you later. Cubs picked up their first shutout of the season. Northsiders roll 4-0. Let's keep it rolling here. Pirates visiting Fenway, taking on the Red Sox. Top of the first here, 1 runner on. Andrew McCutchen loves the monster. Drives this one right over it. First home run of the year, too, for McCutchen. He's now tied with Barry Bonds for 4th on the Pirates' all-time home run list. They're at 176. I have a feeling he's going to move up quickly on that list, too, this season. Bottom of the 8th. Red Sox down 3-1. Bases loaded, 1 out. Hanley Ramirez at the plate. Ramirez just crushes this one. Starling Marte can't make the play out there. So 2 runners are going to come in to score. Mookie Betts in, and he's in easy. Voids the tag and scores. Clint Hurdle challenges it, though, because it did actually look a little close. Let's see it again. Chris Stewart able to get the tag down on the ankle of Betts before he touches home. So, yeah, I was wrong there. He's out. And the call was wrong, too, so they'd overturn it. But take a look at why it was so close. Andrew Benintendi, one of the young outfielders there, tags up at second, and Betts gets caught up behind him. So the Red Sox still tie the game at 3. Next batter, Xander Bogaerts slaps a single. Ramirez comes in to score, so now the Red Sox are up 4-3. All right, let's go to 9. Runner on, 1 out. Andrew Frazier on first base. Tries to steal. But he is tagged. Dustin Pedroia puts it down. 2 outs for the Red Sox. So Jordy Mercer next up at the plate for the Pirates. Craig Kimbrell gets him to ground one softly to second base. And the Red Sox, they come back to win a good one there. 4-3 there at Fenway. So I've been told the story goes, there was a knock on Roger Goodell's hotel room door almost 3 hours to the minute after NFL owners began voting for a new commissioner back in 2006. When Goodell opened his door, there stood Steelers owner Dan Rooney. Goodell knew what that meant. He was the new NFL commissioner. Rooney was the messenger there. Now, 11 years later, 6 Super Bowls, 8 AFC titles, Dan Rooney has died at the age of 84 years old. He will be remembered for many contributions to football, but most notably, championing for minority head coaching candidates. You know it as the Rooney Rule. Here's Susie Colbert on Rooney's legacy.
Dan Rooney, the son of the team's founder, Art Rooney, was a man raised to appreciate the family business.
My father was not a doting father, and I would go to training camp and be with the players. I wasn't just loafing around the offices and things like that. I was out on the field with them. I respected the players, and I wanted them to, to be successful.
Let's see, how's everything going?
Good, good.
Did you meet with the commissioner this morning?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
We're good. We're good.
Daniel Milton Rooney was born July 20th, 1932. He played football for North Catholic High School and was named to the 1949 All-Catholic League second team. But he lost the first team spot to a quarterback named Johnny Unitas, who was signed and later cut by the Steelers. Rooney worked his way through the ranks of the Steelers front office to the role of president. In 1969, he hired Chuck Noll, and the Steelers began their reign as a powerhouse in the 1970s. Rooney played a large role with Pittsburgh's 1974 draft class, considered among the greatest ever, as they selected 4 future Hall of Famers: Lynn Swann, Jack Lambert, John Stallworth, and Mike Webster. That season, the Steelers captured their first of 4 Super Bowls over the next 6 seasons.
We never really wanted to talk a whole lot about dynasties because every year was a new beginning.
Elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2000, Dan joined his father, Art, and they became the second father-son tandem to be enshrined.
The players and coaches made the Steelers, and I attribute my presence here today to all of them and to my father. It is special to join him here. He gave me the understanding of what the league meant. He gave me the commitment to do everything possible to keep it strong and viable.
Rooney took a leadership role on many important issues that the NFL faced. His most notable NFL achievement is the Rooney Rule, which in 2003 mandated that teams interview at least one minority candidate for head coaching jobs. That rule was later expanded to senior football operations positions as well.
There were some people said, you can't be telling us who to hire and things like that. We said, hey, we're not telling you to hire anyone. That is your decision. But we say you must give an opportunity to, an African-American or a minority.
All of a sudden you get owners who now can step up to the plate and say, let me look at this talent. Let me take an honest look at this talent. Not just because I have to, but let me do it sincerely because it might work for me and it may be the best talent out there.
In early 2008, Rooney, a lifelong Republican who typically avoided public politics, supported Barack Obama, a Democrat, in the race for president. Rooney said he expected nothing in return for his support, but after Obama won the general election, the new president appointed Rooney as the U.S. ambassador to Ireland.
I said that my job was going to be to meet as many Irish and to tell the Irish nation and the Irish people that America still cares.
It's a great capstone to what has been a remarkable life and a remarkable career. And I think he loves being ambassador, but I think being the owner of the Steelers, that's who he will always be.
Well, we shared with you that story about Roger Goodell when he was told he was the new NFL commissioner. Here's what he had to say about Dan Rooney. Few men have contributed as much to the NFL as Dan Rooney. Dan's dedication to the game, to the players and coaches, to his beloved Pittsburgh, and to Steelers fans everywhere was unparalleled. A voice of reason on a wide range of topics, including diversity, labor relations. Dan always had the league's best interests at heart. My heart goes out to Patricia Art and the entire Rooney family on the loss of this extraordinary man. Now, Patriots owner Robert Kraft, he joined SportsCenter in the last hour to talk about Dan Rooney.
He was always a league guy first. To be honest, some of the people running clubs in this league are like star players who are only interested in their particular stats or what goes on in their situation. For those of us who aren't planning on selling our teams and understand how privileged we are to own them, he was a great role model of how to always try to put the league first. He always stressed how important the community was and how our 32 teams represent the community, but a big part of that is trying to be inclusive. And I think that Dan was always speaking out on this issue of equal opportunity for all people. And, you know, I think that his drive in this Rooney Rule helps to enact that.
Well, the players, they were sounding off today, sharing their very passionate thoughts here. Troy Polamalu, who, of course, was a Steeler for 12 seasons. We lost the heart and soul of Steeler Nation. Incredible person, humanitarian, true patriot. May his memory be eternal. Love you, Papa Rooney. Former Steeler head coach Bill Cowher, remember he was the head coach for 15 years in Pittsburgh. He tweeted this: "Rest in peace, Dan, my mentor and friend. Thank you for your guidance and wisdom. I came a young coach and left a better man. Your spirit lives forever." And Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, who has spent only his time in Pittsburgh, tweeted, "Today we lost a great one. I wouldn't be a Steeler if it wasn't for Mr. Rooney. We will miss you dearly. Love you, DMR." Former Steeler and Hall of Fame running back Jerome Bettis joins us now here in studio. Jerome, can you give me maybe one of your most memorable Dan Rooney stories from when you were a player?
Well, one of a great story that I don't really get a chance to tell it much, but maybe I'll get a chance to tell it now. Just kind of talks about the man that Dan Rooney was. He called me into his office, and you know, when the owner calls you in the office, you're not sure what it is. So you're walking in, and I didn't know why he wanted to speak to me. But then he sat me down and he said, "I understand that your parents come to every single football game." And I said, "Well, yes, they do. And it's something that I'm proud of." And he said, "Well, I want to make sure that they have good seats." He said, "Because some of the road games, they can be sitting at the top. I want to make sure they take 2 of my seats." And that was just something out of nowhere. I don't even know how he found out that my parents went to every single game, but he did, and he made sure from that day forward that they always had good seats with his family and his family members every single game for the rest of my career.
Are those pretty impressive seats?
Yes, they were right behind the bench. So I always knew where my mother and father were because I could always see them. And that was a great relief, especially when you go into some of these, you know, harsh environments in Baltimore or Cleveland, to know that your family is right behind you. It was great.
When you walked out of his office, what was going through your mind?
I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, did that just happen?
Yeah.
And but he wanted me to understand that we're all family. And if your parents make the commitment to come to every single one of our games, then they're part of the family, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of. And that was just the way he was. He didn't do it. He didn't want me to pat him on the back or anything. Yeah. It was just the fact that if they're coming, we want to make sure we take care of them because they're part of the family as well.
And I'm assuming a story like that, you spread around the locker room, right? And I'm sure you told your teammates. You know
what? I didn't. It's not something that you try to, you know, tell everybody about what happened because then it may be, you know, misconstrued from other teammates. What is going on? Your parents, because obviously he doesn't have enough tickets for everybody. So you don't want to make him uncomfortable in that you telling everyone and then they expect the same treatment. So you keep that kind of to yourself. It was special.
Jerome, what was he like around the players? You know, you see some owners, they're out on the field at every practice. You see some never even leave the office. What was he like? He
was like one of the guys because he was always there. So, you know, we could laugh and joke with Mr. Rooney. And so he would always, you know, he'd take jokes well and he'd give jokes. And whenever he would, you know, kind of crack a joke, everybody's going crazy because Mr. Rooney actually, you know, said something funny. So he was great in that regard where we felt like family. And when he came around, there wasn't an uncomfortableness because, hey, the owner is right behind you. He always, either touched you or spoke to you in such a way that he just disarmed you and made you feel comfortable in that environment. And he was just great at doing that. And so every player has a story about Mr. Rooney because everybody's relationship was individual to them, because of how he made sure of that. He had an open door policy. You could always go talk to him if there was ever an issue. And another neat story was during the latter part of my career, I was mulling over whether or not I was going to be there, my 9th year. And he came over to me and he said, we were passing each other in the hallways. And he says, Jerome, I just want you to know, he says, you leave when I leave. And I said, what? He says, you go when I go. And he just started laughing. And that just told me that, hey, you're not leaving here anytime soon. When you get kicked out is when I get kicked out. And it held true. It was, I got the opportunity to retire a Pittsburgh Steeler because that was what he wanted to make sure happened.
What is it? Can you take me inside that Steelers organization? What is it about the Rooney family that they have been able to put together such a winning organization? What do they do different?
What they do differently is that they value the player, and they say that it's the player first. So an example of that is when we fly, the players sit in first class, and the coaches and the owners, they sit in coach right behind first class. And I asked them, why do you do that? Because when I'd come from the Rams, that was not the case. And so he says, well, my philosophy is that the players make the organization what it is. So we have to take care of the players. That's the first priority. And so once you hear that, you're like, wow, it's not just lip service. It's actually what he believed, and that's what he did. So the players sat in first class, and the coaches sat in coach. It was the head coach, first seat in coach, and then it was the owner, Mr. Rooney, in the second seat in coach. And so he always felt that it was the players first in the organization. And that resonated with all of the players because now you had a feeling that he really cared, and it was a family atmosphere all the way through. And so that made us want to do more for him and the organization. We wanted to go out there and make sure we win every opportunity we got because we knew how sweet this opportunity was and how great an owner we had.
All right, Jerome Bettis, thank you so much for sharing those stories. Appreciate that.
No problem.
All right, from a Hall of Famer to a current player, Antonio Brown posted this on Instagram when we first met in 2010. You embraced me with open arms. You made me feel welcome. You looked at me as more than just another jersey number. One of the most genuine and humble human beings I've had the pleasure of knowing. You motivated me not only to excel in the field, but also in life. This season, the number 84 on my uniform will represent the 84 years you spent on this earth, making an impact on the lives of others. I'll miss you, my friend. Thank you for everything. We'll be right back.
Don't you love that great taste of food hot off the grill, but hate when your food gets stuck to the grate? But not anymore with the new Yoshi Non-Stick Grill Mat, infused with real copper. Chefs prefer cooking with copper because it heats quickly and evenly. No hot spots or flare-ups, just juicy, tender food with that great grilled flavor. And the grill stays clean. And look, perfect grill marks too. Amazing! It's impossible to clean a grill covered in cheese. But the Yoshi Non-Stick Grill Mat makes cleanup a breeze. Grill flaky, moist fish that's easy to flip. Perfect kebabs that don't fall apart. Juicy burgers that don't crumble. Toasted buns that don't burn. Your sauce stays on the meat and out of the flames. And watch this. Grill onions, peppers, mushrooms, potatoes. Nothing falls through the cracks with the Yoshi Copper Grill Mat. It grills your food evenly, and the grill stays clean. Those campground grills are gross, but our non-stick mat keeps your food off the grate, and it's dishwasher safe. Call right now and get 2 Yoshi Non-Stick Copper Grill Mats for only $19.99. But wait, you also get the incredible Yoshi Copper Bake Mat. Now you can bake a cake and leave the pan clean. food slides right off. There's more. You also get the amazing Grip and Flip, free. Just pay processing. It's a spatula on the bottom and tongs on the top. And call right now, and shipping is free. That's right. Free shipping to your door in time for your next barbecue. You get it all for $19.99. Grill proper with copper. Get your Yoshi Copper Grill Mat today.
To order your Yoshi Copper Grill Mat, call 1-800-949-0883. That's 1-800-949-0883. Or you can visit us online at coppergrillmat.com. That's coppergrillmat.com. Order now.
You're here to buy a used car, truck, SUV. That's smart. TrueCar can help. It's great for finding a new car, but you already knew that. It's also great for finding the perfect used car. You'll see what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. So no matter what you're looking for, there it is. This is how buying a used car should be. This is TrueCar.
You have a vision. It's behind everything you do. Even when you least expect it, it comes through. You know what you want, and we can help make it real. You need choices? We've got all kinds, including special finishes and papers. And they're all absolutely guaranteed. Because you have a vision, and we have your card. 500 start at just $9.99 when you enter BC500 at Vistaprint.com.